You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. I know you're probably tired of hearing people say, new year, new me. However, it can be a new year and a new you. Everyone is trying to get back into the gym. They're trying to do some weight loss things. You may have also heard of GLP-1s. Well, our friends over at RHO has gotten you covered with the new GLP-1 pill. The pill is a new, more convenient and approachable way to GLP-1s if you've been thinking about it. A self-administered shot can be a bit intimidating. But now there's a pill that delivers comparable results. If you've been thinking about getting on a GLP-1, RHO might be the way to do it. They have 100% online care, access to clinically proven, FDA-approved medications, free insurance checks, side effects management, dosing support, and more. RHO offers the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss at the lowest cost around. The new GLP-1 pill has the same weight loss ingredient as the shot and packs comparable results to the shot. It can help patients lose 14% of their body weight in a year on average. This is based on a study in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight plus a weight-related condition with diet and exercise. You may have also seen Serena Williams talk about collaborating and endorsing RHO as well. As a world-class athlete, she also wanted to drop pounds after having children. If I had needed this particular option, this is what I would use. A pill versus a shot? Why not? Go to ro.co/Kempire to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on RHO. That's ro.co/Kempire to get started on RHO. Go to ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medication. More details on your discount and more will be available in the description. And we're back. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to RHO for sponsoring today's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap. More information on our sponsors will be available in the description. Shout out to those of you that have already 87 of you have liked the video. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy, free way of supporting the channel. Speaking of supporting the channel, I'm wearing my twerking on. I haven't wore this sweatshirt in so long. I found it. I was like, wait, where has this been? You know, sometimes when you have so much stuff that you're like, you pack things away, and if you don't have them, like I don't have like a huge walk-in closet where everything is on display. One day, but so there's sometimes I'm wondering like, where are my stuff? And I was like, oh, you know, I'm gonna put this on. It's so cozy. Yes, you can get it in the House of Kempire merch store. Oh, I just love. It's one of my favorite sweatshirts. I love it. It's working on a fence. Come on now. Come on. Yes. Don't forget, guys, there's also Are You Okay merch available as well. You can get a sweatshirt, you can get mugs, all that stuff is available now. Anyway, my hands are cold. This is the heat. I try not to turn the heat on in this room, but I do have it on low. But my hands are cold. I don't know. You know what they say, cold hand, warm heart? Lies! The lie! Oh, but I guess it's perfect since we're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It's also Valentine's Day is coming up. How are you guys feeling? Are you in love? Are you talking to someone new? Maybe we should do like a special Valentine's Day live and do sort of like our relationship lives and talk about relationships and stuff. Maybe not. Oh, okay. Here come Krista? Is that how you pronounce? Is that how you say it? Wait, no, Chris, aka WW boy, WWE boy. Hey, Chris, we're live, and now you're on the display. Okay. Anyway, all right. Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, guys. This is the final episode of season 6, the final part to the reunion. How would you rate it from 1 to 10? How would you rate it? I didn't even think about this until I asked you guys the question. I would rate the reunion, the last part of the reunion, probably somewhere in the 5 to 6 range for me. Just because I felt like everything was anticlimactic. The walk-offs, the Bronwyn telling us that she is separated from Todd. I kind of got where Bronwyn was coming from and why she separated from Todd, but I also feel like she was strategic with this. She's very strategic. If you paid attention to this reunion, You could tell that she is very strategic. Even before even getting into the conversations about Todd, the Todd father. Wait a second, do you see the Todd father? Does the Todd father, has he seen our videos now? Because she said during the reunion, after the separation, he watched all of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. He went to Reddit. I don't go to Reddit unless someone sends me like a direct link to a story. I'm not in those Reddit streets, because those Reddit streets can be. Okay? In the Reddit streets. Okay, he created an X account. He did all kinds of things. And now he knows what everyone has been saying about him, which hasn't been nice. I don't feel like we've been that hard on the Todd father. Maybe we should have been harder on him. Oh, wait, no. I just thought about it. Did last week we were singing Kissing and Farting and Kissing? And I did jazz hands and a whole situation? Kissing and farting, farting and kissing, kissing and farting, farting and kissing. Oh. Okay. All right. Tish says, I stay on Reddit. Well, Tish, we appreciate you staying on Reddit so you can report back. Okay? GC says Reddit is brutal. There are bodies everywhere. Damn, bodies everywhere. But X is not much better, I'm sure, right? For those that are on both, which one do you think is less harmful? Come on. And a lot of times I just ignore people. People have all kinds of things. You know, sidebar, speaking of people, always randomly, I don't even know how I even saw this. I saw today that Nicki Minaj was speaking with the president. And she says she's the president's number one fan. If y'all are a barb in 2026, you are in a cult. Because at this particular point, how are you a fan of this woman? Anyway, so I say all that to say, a grown-ass barb, said something about me. That they took a screenshot from one of our lives or something like that, and I forgot what they said specifically. And I was like, oh, Lord, not the barbs coming for me. Like, leave me alone. I'm a normal human being with sense, okay? Get away from me before I get a restraining order. Okay. Oh, Young Eartha Kid says, I heard Reddit is the graveyard. I mean, look, we're recapping Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. If we're going to talk about cults, this is the perfect place to talk about one. Right? But anyway, all right, I've digressed. And I know last week, no. Shout out to those of you that said that this is your third live of the week because of the snow, everyone's stuck at home. First of all, a couple of things. I went out for the first time since the snow yesterday, and I said, I'm not going back outside. I will probably go back outside for Pilates again tomorrow. That's about it. But I hurt myself in Pilates yesterday. And it's not Pilates' fault. It's not my fault either. It's just something with you get older, Lord. So the neck, I did something. I turned the wrong way, and I felt it, and I said, oh, here we go. So I've been heating it since yesterday. Oh. Sometimes y'all don't even realize sometimes the things that I'm going through, that I'm pushing through to bring you the news, to bring you a kiki. I'm pushing through, but right now I can barely turn my head. Okay, and I can't move too quick. All right, and I wasn't even moving that quick. It's all right. It's all right. We will be fine. If you're just joining us, guys, we're talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Not really. We haven't really gotten to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We kind of have, but then we digress. We went down another road. I heard it's going to be some more snow on Sunday. What the? All right. I've digressed. Let's focus. Let's focus. You know, I'm not going to be twerking on the fence at all today. You see, when I move, the lighting changed. I got to make sure. All right. Arjun says, I'm late, but is this pre-recorded? There goes your answer. Unless it's some amazing AI. That will be the next thing. AI, like a pre-record, but you can still respond to the live questions. What in the world? All right. I didn't even open my notes, guys. Let me open my notes. Again, for those that are just joining us, how would you rate the final episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City? How would you rate the season? I would probably give the season, I was going to say a 7, but I was like, I don't know. I feel like that's generous. I think that's generous. I would probably somewhere between a 6 and a 7. I do think they need to make some shifts for next season. I definitely think they need to make some shifts. And I think those shifts have to do with bad weather. Mm-hmm. It also, this reunion also told me that Meredith has an issue with production. And I don't know what her issue could be. Meredith, I think you're okay. Okay? I think you're okay. In regards to how they've edited her this season. But I don't know. I feel like all the housewives always have an issue with production. They always have an issue with editing. But you saw who was defending production, right? Mm-hmm. Look, mm-hmm. All right, let's start at the top. Let's start at the top of this reunion. So, as you know, last week's episode of the Salt Lake City reunion, we had Brittany storm off the stage with her theatrics, and she's like, and I'm not a victim. And I was like, who called her a victim? I didn't hear anything. But this reminds you that what you're hearing and seeing on the reunion is very much controlled. So a lot of times these ladies are speaking, you're not always hearing everything that they're saying or seeing it. So apparently Meredith had called her a victim because I think Mary was like, who called her a victim? She's like, I did. I did. You are a victim, Brittany. And I feel like Brittany wanted to have a moment. Very theatrical. And these are the things that people do not like about Brittany. Although I've liked Brittany as an addition to the show as a friend of, I get why some people are like, I don't like her. These moments where she's so over the top and theatrical, do I think that she was very upset with being called a bigot? Yes. No one wants to be called a bigot, but storming off the stage and then all that crying backstage, I was like, I didn't believe it. That's why Mary always gives her the stank eye. Like, girl, can you imagine the stuff that we don't see, in the unedited version of Brittany? I think that's why Mary Cosby does not see it for Brittany. And never will. I would be shocked if Brittany and Mary became close like Angie and Mary. I just think it's two different things. I don't think that there's any sort of redeeming quality about Brittany. And no shade, okay? But please understand, I'm not saying this to be malicious. I'm really not. But it tells you a lot about a person when you see how their mothering is. Am I lying? Am I lying? So I feel like some of Brittany is her being on this reality show is just another sign and symptom of her prioritizing her career, herself, her own aspirations over her children. Sorry. That's how I feel. I mean, I'm not trying to be malicious, but that's how I feel. I didn't even see Olivia there. They said that Olivia, her daughter, was there. Vicky's watching on Twitch. She says she's selfish. Bergie's watching on Twitch as well. Some people shouldn't be parents, but as a Mormon, that's not possible, in my opinion. SK says, Brittany has low self-esteem and is immature. How can you let grown women bully you? Shaking my head. I mean, I'm not saying that any of that's impossible, but I think she also leans into being a victim. I do. I really do think she leans into being a victim. Do I think that Meredith did what they said that she did? Yes. And do I think that was a lot for Brittany? Yes. But in this particular moment, she actually proved Meredith's point. Because Meredith points out, she's like, what did I do to her here? You see the theatrics. And Andrew's like, this is how she acted on, on the plane. And she's like, what did I do here? Did I pull her hair? Did I spill a drink on her? And I was like, you know what, Meredith? You're right. So can you imagine if what they're saying Meredith did happen? So that Brittany probably was a hot mess. So Angie says this is how she found Brittany on the plane. Meredith says, this is how Brittany acts. And she didn't even do anything to her. She's like, did I pull her hair? Did I do anything? Honestly, I was like, wait a minute, Meredith. You kind of sold me on this. Is Brittany being overreacting because she's hearing you talk about her? And look, do I believe Meredith was behind Britney, speaking loudly because she wanted Britney to hear all the awful things that she had to say about her and felt about her. Yes. Do I think Britney turns herself into the victim in this moment? Now I'm kind of thinking about this airplane incident like, look, Did Britney turn it up when people started showing her attention? Did she turn it up like, I can't? Because I don't know. It's hard to say. But I'm not saying that Meredith is innocent, y'all. But I've turned a corner with Meredith, right? I have turned a corner. But you know what? What they say.
Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Baby, Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You, that piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
I mean, if they can turn a corner with in their friendship, me and Meredith can turn a corner in how I feel about her. It's taken me 6 seasons, but I've turned a corner with Meredith. I've turned a corner with Meredith. Here we are. Me defending Meredith? Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it, guys? We're not gonna be able to play this soundbite for another year. So come on, we gotta get it in as much as we can. If they could turn a corner in their friendship, me and Meredith and I can turn a corner in our friendship that she doesn't know about. All right. So Meredith says this is how Britney acts. She didn't even do anything to her, and you see how she's acting. I think that was a valid point. Meredith says that Britney only took down the post in regards to, because remember they were talking about this guy that Meredith accused of being anti-Semitic. I don't know, guys. I don't know anything about the guy and things like that. I've heard mixed things about, no, he was just pro-Palestine. So I haven't seen any of that actual information. So I don't even want to address what they could be arguing about. But Meredith says her frustration with Britney was that she only took down her review of this guy after she received backlash from social media. So she said that's her frustration with Britney. She didn't feel like Britney's remorse was actually authentic, which I could believe, because I do believe that Britney goes with the wind, you know? So, and Britney is not ready for people to turn on her on social media. If you guys ever turn, I mean, a lot of you are not pro Britney, but you get what I'm saying. She's not made for the backlash either. So Britney's backstage boo-hooing, okay? Boo-hooing and saying, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm like, this lady is an actress. I mean, she really is. You remember what Heather said, she's the most accomplished. Heather, you're ridiculous. That's such a stupid statement. That Britney's the most accomplished in this group? Really? Even you, who's written 2 books? And aren't they bestsellers? You just said that to trigger people. And it did. It did trigger them. But I probably would have been triggered too. I'd be like, Britney's the most... Me here, I would be like, Britney's more accomplished than me? Really? Wouldn't you be offended if someone said that Britney Bateman was more accomplished than you? Britney Bateman's more accomplished than you. Me being single and not having a headache like Jared in my life makes me better than Britney. Hold on, where is it? Wait. Come on. Rita says that was a wild statement. I was assuming, wasn't Heather's book a bestseller? Or no? Was I wrong? I could be wrong. I just made that up. Well, she's written 2 books, okay, while being on this show. All right. So while Britney's backstage crying, like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. Mary and Meredith talk about the combo in regards to the plane incident. And Andy points out that, you know, a lot of people fall in line with what Mary said. So that tells me that Andy's paying attention to your comments, guys. So, because a lot of people said, you know what? I don't know if I believe the other women, but I believe Mary Cosby. We've said that too. I do genuinely believe Mary Cosby, that what she witnessed on that plane is what happened. Okay? And they start to have their own conversation about what Meredith experienced on the plane versus what Mary did. And they were actually having a good conversation. Brittany randomly comes out and she's like, you know what, Meredith? I apologize. I'm done with this. And she's just like, we're done. And Mary Cox is just like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? She's a weirdo, okay? She is weird, but she fits in so much with this group, being weird the way that she is, okay? So Brittany comes in, she wants to shut it down. She's just like, because you see how quickly she got over her tears and she came back to the set. She's got her drink in hand and she's good to go. So Brittany is an actress, okay? All right. So what else? Meredith says that she never denied what happened on the plane. She said she was venting to Lisa. I was venting to Lisa. I was venting to my friend. And I do think that she was venting like, that Brittany is a hooah. Or, that Brittany with her terrible high body count hair and bad skin. I'm just saying, like she was saying probably the worst things that she could probably say to someone, okay? So she's saying all this stuff, and she's saying it to Lisa, but she's screaming it over the loud plane. Okay, she's just like, I can't stand her. She's mad at me over my marriage because she can't hold down a relationship, and then her children will never speak to her. At least my children speak to me. Oh man, can you imagine if they got the audio from that airplane ride? Can you imagine? I would have a whole moment with it.
Got it. Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of...
I need to light a candle.
I have your back and I'm offended by that. You that piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
I just feel like, I'm just saying, I just feel like if we had the audio at least, come on, y'all failed us because we could have added new audio to the sound machine here, okay? And then I could add music to it, and then we could just light a candle and just rock back and forth. It would rock us to sleep. Damn it. I'm gonna have to get actors and recreate the moment. Damn it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get me some actors. There's a couple people that do a good Meredith, all right? And I'm going to have them do one for me, and then we're going to add it to the soundboard. What do you think happened on the plane? Well, here we go. Boom. Okay? All right. Let's move on because we're going to be here far longer than this episode really needs, okay? So Meredith says that she never denied what happened on the plane. She was venting to her friend. She says that she had one. So they do finally get an answer from her. She says that she did have one drink before getting on the plane. Okay? Lisa says that Lisa then turns it to herself, and she's like, she felt very alone on the boat. And because people were accusing her of being the source of the dirt that was going to social media and to the blogs and things like that. Heather says that she still believes that Lisa is the source of that information, but she still wants to be her friend. And Lisa brings up a good point. Why would you want to be my friend if you think I'm the source of this information? Because Heather is an unserious, made-for-TV personality. Because I thought the same thing before Lisa even said it. I said, so why would you want to still be her friend if you think she's the source of spreading this information to everyone? NB says, so no audio was revealed at the reunion? No. I told you it wouldn't be because it really is a legal headache for the airline, for the network, for this cast, for production. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen just because of the ramifications of that. I wish they did, though, just so for our soundboard purposes. All right. So Lisa, it gets very emotional, and she says that she won't take accountability for something she didn't do. And look, this is where I turned a corner with Lisa during the season because I felt like they had no solid proof that Lisa was the source. Even the proof that they brought at this reunion about someone trolling Angie wasn't proof about her being the source about what they were accusing her of. And my thing is, I would believe that Lisa is capable of doing something like this. I think that they're all capable of doing something like this. OMG, I just thought to myself, do you guys think that what's happening here is very similar to what's happening on Potomac when it comes to how Ashley and Giselle are dead set on misunderstanding Stacey and trying to catch Stacey in a lie, and they're setting up scenarios for that? Do you think that's what some of these ladies are doing to Lisa? I don't know if I 100% believe that, but I had the thought. I do believe that Lisa is not who Lisa pretends to be. She doesn't show accountability, and that's the big frustration with this group when it comes to Lisa. So I do believe that she is, but again, although I believe that, they have not given us any solid proof or good argument that it's Lisa. You know what I mean? Watch, and now the people that don't like Lisa can be like, Kempire, you're such a Lisa stan. No, give me proof. I'm willing to believe that Lisa has done it, but give me some sort of proof, some solid evidence, besides the fact that Lisa is Lisa. Give me some proof. You have not given me any proof in regards to that. But all right, fine. So Heather still wants to be her friend, though. Lisa said that she felt alone and isolated. So that's why she felt for Meredith on the plane, because she felt like the group was doing the same thing that they did to her on the boat. They were doing it to her on the plane. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting take. But I was like, okay. Whitney says that she called Meredith an addict because she called her an addict. Where is it? Oh, because she called her a liar, because Meredith called her a liar about the plane situation. She said it slipped out of my mouth. You called someone something so damaging that's the first thing that slipped out of your mouth, especially being a child of someone that has addiction. That just slipped out of your mouth because she called you a liar. That should tell us a lot about Whitney and Heather's integrity and character, or lack thereof integrity. I was like, that just slipped out of your mouth. And then you double down, which they revisit later, about the accusations about her being an addict. All right. Whitney says that she's only seen behavior like this when you mix benzos and alcohol. When have you seen that? From your dad or from yourself or Heather? Because that's what Meredith accused you both of. Okay. Meredith says that Brittany, Heather, and Whitney are all pill poppers, because they flash back to the confessional where she talked about the pills that they do. And I was like, and I told you about when I saw Whitney at BravoCon backstage, and I was just like, she just seemed like, I was like, are you? I wanted to kind of do this in front of her face, like wave my hand in front of her face. Like, are you here with us? Like, it wasn't like drunk, even though she admitted to at this last BravoCon to being drunk. But it seemed medicated to me. I'm not saying that she was. It stood out to me. How many years later I'm still talking about it? I'm just like, because I met a couple of people backstage and I was just like, huh. I was like, she seemed not there, but who knows? SKL says that Whitney loves dry snitching. She loves producing a moment. She loves being a producer's pet, hence why we see her later on in the reunion defend production. Not to say that she shouldn't defend production, but I thought that was interesting that she did. I did. All right. So Meredith apologizes. Andy says so. She reiterates her apology that she had said to Brittany before. So Andy was so shady at this reunion. He says, "Okay, so nothing new that we haven't said before." I was like, "Damn, Andy." Even Mary Cosby was like, "Oh, is that what we're doing?" All right. So nothing new here. He might have been frustrated with Meredith too at this reunion. Angie says that now here's the thing. Say what you want about Angie, and we will. But Angie gave real big energy when she said to Meredith, before we move on, I just want to say this. Meredith, if you did what you did to Brittany, to me, you would have been met with an air marshal when we got off the plane. And honestly, that's the energy I would be on too. Isn't Angie a Scorpio? You know that's our sister sign to Taurus. That's the energy I would be on. if what they're saying Meredith did would actually happen and she did it to me, she would have been met with an air marshal when we got off the plane. And no producer, network person, no flight attendant's going to tell me anything different. Okay? It's going to be another Porsche at the airport when you get off the plane situation. Okay? I was like, I'm glad Angie said it. Because Angie's also doubling down saying, like, no, what happened on that plane actually happened. And she says she spoke to her by the bathroom. So I was like, I was here for it. At first I was like, okay, what's Angie going to do? Angie, we're moving on. But I'm glad she said it because I was like, yes, someone needed to say it. GC says Andy's frustrated with Meredith. I think everyone, including production, is frustrated with Meredith. That's probably why people are speculating that Meredith might not be coming back next season. I don't know. Not if someone at the network likes Meredith. Just keep that in mind. Production doesn't do the hiring and firing. Andy's a part of the conversation, but he's not the final one. Alma says, I'm not a Meredith stan at all, but I don't believe those ladies all the way. I think, I mean, after this reunion, I'm kind of on the fence, right? Bergie says, hence why she's a DJ now. She needs she's thinking about her next career. I mean, even if Meredith didn't come back next season, she's been on this show for 6 seasons. She's an OG. She'll always be a housewife. I think doors will open for her. Even if she left now, she would leave on a high note. Don't you think? I don't know if she would consider it a high note, but she would leave on a high note for me. I mean, look, we've turned a whole corner, Meredith and I. We've gone a whole corner, y'all.
Go. Meredith can go f*** herself. I'm done with her. Because I'm not a f***ing whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb f***ing family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't. Because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of... I have your back and I'm offended by that. You f***ing piece of garbage whore.
Rolling Thunder.
And hey, she's a whore. She's after me. She can go f*** herself.
The remix. The remix. Come on now. Rolling Thunder, okay? How many times? Is anyone keeping account? Was it 3? All right. That was a remix, though. That was a remix. All right. Damn, Savannah says she'll leave high. Okay, let's move on. All right. Brittany, according to Angie, Brittany was a lot worse on the plane than how she was when she left the stage. Okay. So Andy comes back from the commercial break, okay? Comes back from the commercial break and says that he's in awe of this group's vulnerability. Not me freezing. There y'all go. Count the wire. Count the wire. Was it 12, 13? G says the wire's putting in work today. Ooh, and there goes my my headphones. Guys, keep liking the video. As I grab this, my headphones came out. Janessa says, I love it when you play the audio. Hold on, y'all. I got to change up some of the stuff in the studio. Not hashtag Team Wire. You're supposed to be Team Me. Man, I say Team Me, meaning Team Kempire. Okay? All right, let me plug this back in. Now I can hear myself again. Okay. All right. Let me move this over here. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Don't forget to like the video. It's an easy and free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. You can also hear the audio of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. I did drop a new Club Kempire episode where I'm spilling some tea that I found out about Ultimate Girls Trip. They're going to be filming today here in New York City. And I also revealed some more stuff. So be sure to check that out on the Apple Podcast app, or you can do it via the website if you don't have an Apple device, okay? Thank you guys for the love on my Keith Haring in the back. Yes, darling. Yes, darling. But also today is brought to you by our friends over at Rose Forever. Valentine's Day is literally 3 weeks away. Have you gotten your roses yet for the person that you love? And if you haven't, this is your reminder. You probably didn't even realize that Valentine's Day was right around the corner. You were probably ignoring all the Valentine's Day merch and things like that. that just literally came out while it was still the holidays. Well, I'm here to remind you, we have partnered with our friends over at Rose Forever yet again. This is probably our umpteenth year of working with them. And these roses that I'm holding in my hand are from a year ago. And I wish you could smell this through the screen. They still smell like roses, and they are. These are real roses that will last you up to a year. Our friends over at Rose Forever don't just sell roses, though. You can get roses, you can get hydrangeas, but also for those that want other roses other than red, even though it's traditional, maybe you want purple, maybe you want pink, maybe you want white, maybe you want blue. There are colors for you. But now Rose Forever also has candles and delicious, big, huge candles. And we're back. Look how, in comparison to my head, look how big this candle is. And there's so many delicious flavors for you. So if there's something that you wanted to get for yourself or someone you love or just someone you appreciate and you were thinking of an idea of something that is actually long lasting, get you something from Rose Forever. And of course, we've gotten you covered with a discount. Be sure to check out our discount code and our special link available in the description. Time is running out. Literally, after this week, there will only be 2 weeks, and you want to keep enough time for delivery. And delivery is really good with our friends over at Rose Forever as well. Get your Rose Forever, something that will last you and something that people will look back at and like, oh, I remember the person that got me that, and they got me that last year. It's still beautiful. It's still luxurious. Get you something today. More information, again, will be available in the description along with your discount. And I'm still here. Again, shout out to our friends over at Rose Forever. Again, be sure to check out the description for more details on your discount. I see that we had a couple of super chats, but before we do that, Reese says, Kempire, did you hear about Lisa Wu and Nene at the Atlanta event? I actually talked about it in the Club Kempire episode that I just mentioned. So I do talk about it in regards to them getting into it at the Atlanta event. So yeah, I didn't talk about it publicly. I talked about, well, publicly, technically, on the Club Kempire podcast episode that I dropped yesterday. All right. Sam B, thank you so much for the super chat. Sam B says, oh, I felt bad for Bronwyn. I think especially when you're in the aftermath of losing a parent, you start making a lot of huge changes in your life. Sometimes rash. I cried, but also PMSing. So no, yeah, I could definitely see that. Young Eartha Kid, thank you so much. Oh, let me shimmy. I can't shimmy too much. I hurt my neck, young Eartha Kid. But let me shimmy. Thank you so much for the super chat. Couldn't be if I was Meredith. When they spoke about throwing production under the bus, I would have gathered Heather and her black eye shenanigans and aired out all the other ladies' projections because they all dragged it. You bring up such a good point, because when they started crying over production and her throwing production under the bus, Meredith should have came at Heather. I was like, I know you're not talking. You accused production of your black eye. I know you're not talking. That's the worst. That was damaging. That could have people could have lost their jobs. So you're right, young Eartha Kid. She couldn't talk. Pavan, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support as well. Again, guys, you can also support just by liking today's video. GC, thank you so much for the super chat. GC says, FYI, 10% of the flight have air marshals. They only reveal themselves if the plane is in danger. Airport security takes people off to hand to local PD. Well, I'm guessing that flight didn't have one. Oh, no. But I agree with Angie. If it was me, somebody would have met her outside. Okay? Someone would have met her outside if it was that bad. But okay. So Andy says, they come back from this break, and then Andy says, I'm in awe of this group's vulnerability. It's very clear that Salt Lake City is the new prize over there at Bravo, and they're treating him as such. Bravo is so interesting, and I've talked about this before. I don't know if you guys ever heard the story that Cheryl Lee Ralph told when she did Dreamgirls on Broadway years ago. It's about to come back to Broadway. I'm excited for that. And she talked about how the creator and the director basically fostered this toxic relationship between her and Jennifer Holliday intentionally to kind of bring that same energy to the stage. I believe Bravo, I'm not saying that they necessarily do, but in my imagination, we'll say, I believe Bravo does that with the Housewives. they sort of play each other against each other. So I think they do it when it comes to their accommodations, like when they're filming Ultimate Girls Trip, or when they're at BravoCon, they're treating the housewives, and all the housewives are treated differently. But the Real Housewives ladies are treated better than any of the other Bravo celebrities. The better rooms, all that stuff. But if your show is on and you're currently on a show, they're treating you better. If you're the star, if you're a new fan favorite, if you're the Stacey Rush right now, they're treating you better, and they're making it obvious. And that's why they want to foster this sort of contention, because they think that this is going to bring it to the show. And that's why I would say what they're fighting about on the show is never really what they're fighting about. It's more so they're fighting about the show. So I do believe that's what's happening when Andy's just like, I'm in awe of you guys and your vulnerability. And he says it's one of the reasons why this show is so successful. Not according to those live ratings for this season. I know they want to downplay the live ratings, but to me, the live ratings are an indication of something. Okay? Yes, I know a lot of people are watching on Peacock and things like that, but I think a lot of fans are saying that this season was mid. A lot of fans were saying, yes, last season they had an incredible season. But other than that, it's starting to get a little stale. And if you listen to my Club Kempire episode, I talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City ladies and filming that happened with them in Atlanta. Or Miami. I don't remember where they were. But go listen to that episode, okay? So it's getting a little stale. So they move into a segment where they talk about their families and what's going on with the families. Whitney gives an update on her company. She's fully separated herself from the other company, so she had to buy back all of her products and things like that. Okay. She says that she doesn't resent Justin. I don't know why she would resent Justin, but I guess she's entitled to her feelings. Because my thing is, you're a grown lady, but she feels like Justin and the people promised they were going to make a lot of money, and so he says she doesn't resent him. Okay. She says that because of what they went through with this business stuff, they're finally able to speak about the hard truths in their marriage. Okay. I feel like next season is going to be more of Whitney talking about her marriage and her being, I feel like she's going to admit something next season, y'all. And call me Miss Cleo if I end up being right next season, that she's going to say that she did something in the marriage next season. And part of me feels like it's going to be cheating, because she kind of sort of foreshadowed it during this season in the early episodes when she was talking with Bronwyn. Did y'all catch that? So I kind of feel like that's what we're going to get from Bronwyn. Not Bronwyn, from Whitney next season. So as Whitney is talking about her story, this is Mary Cosby closing her eyes. And to the point where Andy Cohen is like, Mary? And Mary's like, huh? She's like, wait, did I close my eyes? And she said, I thought she was asleep. That was a representation of us too, Mary, of what we think when Whitney starts talking. We all fall asleep. It was such a nothing moment. But for me, that added levity to the situation. It did. I was like, oh, that was a funny part. Okay, let's move on. Whitney says that she feels that they will bounce back in regards to her and Justin. All right. Meredith responds to when Andy brings up Seth saying on Next Gen NYC that he wants to be pansexual. She's just like, I mean, if that's what he wants, we'll have to talk about it. But I don't think that's what he really wants. If you watch Next Gen, I already told you how creepy that conversation that Seth had with those young boys. Weird. He's a weirdo. I've been telling you that Seth is a weirdo since season 1. I remember the first season, I was like, oh, I followed Seth. And then I unfollowed him because I was like, he's a weirdo. Weirdo. So she's like, I will, if that's what he wants, we can have a conversation. Yeah, because you guys, I don't believe that this relationship, I think their marriage is over. I think that their marriage has been over since like season 1, but they stay married for the show. Jeezy says Seth was super creepy. Okay. What did Keith say? Keith says now that Bronwyn filed for divorce, Mary and Meredith needs to. Not Mary and Meredith. Mary is in a very happy relationship with her grandfather, stepfather, cousin. No, they have the best life ever. He lives in another state. She lives in Utah. It's like perfect. Instead of separate bedrooms, they got separate houses. If it works for them. Crystal said separate lives. I don't see any toxicity in that relationship. Okay. Foxy says maybe they have an open relationship in regards to Seth and Meredith. They've been asked about that, and they've denied having an open relationship. But okay. Crystal said, who never supports her publicly in regards to Mary? Yeah. Ms. Parker said, that's Mary's grand-husband. All right, let's move on, y'all. I've already been talking about this lackluster Part 3 Salt Lake City reunion way longer than it probably needs. But I took enough notes, so I'm here to talk about it. So Heather says she's happy with her freedom now that the kids are out the house and she's dating. She's going to be on Love Hotel. I'm actually interested, y'all, in this next Love Hotel. Because Portia's going to be on it. Heather's going to be on it. Who else is supposed to be on it? I'm trying to remember. Those are the only people I'm really interested in, though. Because I kind of want to see Heather dating. I kind of want to see that. But we shall see. But I've wanted to see Heather dating from the top of the season, though. Like, for the top of the show. That's when Heather was likable. Not a Lavender situation. Y'all are terrible. All right. Brittany says that Andy talks about how Brittany brought her daughter Olivia to BravoCon, and she brought her to the reunion. And apparently, she also brought Jared to BravoCon. And Olivia, she says that Olivia wasn't happy about that. So this entire season where Olivia opens up to you about your relationship and wanting to connect with you again and how you prioritize men over her, and you still, after this entire season, you still brought Jared, who's not even a serious relationship. You're not engaged. I don't even know if you're boyfriend and girlfriend. I don't know if you're even currently boyfriend and girlfriend. You decided to bring your daughter and Jared to BravoCon. And I think the only reason why she brought him was because she feels like he's a part of the spectacle that is her storyline. Really? Oh, yeah, Sonya's supposed to be on. I'm interested in seeing Sonya on Love Hotel. I'm interested in seeing Sonya on Love Hotel. Is she going to find love? No. Okay, because she's looking for money. Okay. So she can actually, look, so she can actually go to a restaurant and not, skip out on a check, Allegedly. Larry says, Portia has a girlfriend? Yes. What is it? What's their name? Sway? Is their name Sway? Or Shay? One of those. Look, one of those. Okay. So Brittany did say that. Look at me yawning. Oh, that is a indication of how the reunion went. That's an indication how the reunion went. Brittany says that she was very happy, though, this Christmas to have both her daughters at home. Well, I'm happy for her. Okay. Lisa then addresses what John said about her on camera. And people saying that John embarrassed her on camera. I don't feel like John embarrassed Lisa on camera. I think she does in some way. But she said that that their storyline this season, she says she feels undervalued. And then she talks about all the things that she does for the kids and John. And I was like, okay, we never see that on the show, her doing these things for the family, but I'm assuming she must be doing it or someone's doing it. But she said that she also didn't like the fact, and she said this to him, that she would die before she would make John look bad on television. And I don't think she realizes some of the ways that she speaks to him or doesn't listen to him makes him look bad on television. I know that might not be her intention. And I got where she was coming from with that, Lisa. But at the same time, I was like, well, you don't realize by the way that you sort of talk about him, or talk through him, or not listen to him, or cut him off, that can be embarrassing to him, making it seem like he's not, an equal partner to you. So I don't think she realizes that. So everyone starts chiming in because she's like, she didn't like that moment where he talks about her on camera. And everyone starts chiming in. And here's the thing, and I'm not a Lisa fan. However, she's trying to express how she feels. She's trying to be vulnerable because they're always saying that she's not. And she never shows accountability. But they're not listening to her in this moment. Everyone is talking over her because this is what they do. They're all trying to get a moment. And I was just like, can y'all stop for a second? Just let her say her piece, and then you guys can chime in. And that's what Andy should have said, because it felt like everybody was chiming in about her storyline, about her marriage. Because they're like, Lisa, it was good. This was good. He wanted to share how he was feeling. This is what the show is about. It's about vulnerability. And, this is what Andy was saying that he loves about us, and da-da-da-da-da. And she's trying to speak, and they're not letting her speak. And I was like, just let her finish her thought, and then you guys can chime in. So I was frustrated for Lisa, and she's just like, you know what? I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just not going to say anything. She's like, she doesn't need help with telling her feelings. And I was like, you guys are not listening to her. I do feel like she lacks accountability, but at least in this moment, this is about her. This is about her marriage. We don't need everybody and their mama chiming in on her marriage. Let her speak about how she feels about the situation with John. Then you guys can chime in. And see, look, you guys are agreeing with me. Phoenix says, I understood why she was frustrated in that moment. Exactly. Lukey Star K for Life says, it was weirdo behavior. They kept telling her how to feel in her marriage. All right, so I wasn't crazy. I was like, shut up. This is not even about y'all right now. Let her speak her truth, and then you guys can weigh in. All right. Curls, wheels, cameras. I see the curls. Yes. I'm screaming because her dress and hair was giving gym teacher promo dress. Lisa's? Wait a minute. Lukey says, she definitely lacks accountability, but let her talk. Then if she wants advice, she will ask the girls. The girls are not her therapists. I agree. I felt frustrated in that moment for her. I definitely felt frustrated for her in that moment. All right. Guys, if you're just joining us, we're talking about the latest episode of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I did drop the call link already for our members, but live chat, let's get to 450 likes and I will drop the call link for you guys. We already have over 1,000 of you watching on multiple platforms. We are getting into it. You can also hear the audio of our live recaps on the Kempire podcast. Okay, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. And while you're there, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And as I mentioned before, I did drop some tea on the Club Kempire Apple Podcast subscription. So be sure to check that out. All right. I'm like all cuddled up in my twerking on a fence t-shirt, y'all. Look, I'm all cuddled up. Now I'm hot. RC says they're always trying to dictate how somebody should feel. Yeah, I could see that. Tamika, thank you so much for the super chat. Tamika says Lisa and Meredith were tag teaming the whole reunion. They are for real the mean girls right now. You don't think the other ladies were tag teaming too, though? I think they all were tag teaming. Tamika, thank you for another super chat. She says Portia needs to be on Love Hotel. She is going to be, even though she's in a relationship. Way of Keith, thank you so much for super chat and for being a member. Way of Keith says, Mary should focus on her long-distance marriage instead of shading Lisa. Am I the only one that gets lesbian energy from Heather? Real butch tease. Oh my God. I mean, even if, you know what I think? Even if she was, and I don't know if she is or not, I never really thought about that. Even if she was, I think because she still has the upbringing from being a Mormon, that it would be really hard for her to even grasp that. And that's why some people that are in, that grew up religious have a hard time coming out. Yep. The Dan Talk, thank you so much for being a member and for the super chat. Dan says, Lisa told John that she never saw Mare as mad on the plane. Why doesn't anyone remember this? We talked about it. We talked about it last week. We've mentioned it when it happened. But when that's not enough. She didn't say that Meredith was doing the things that they said that Meredith was doing. But she did say that Meredith was upset. So she could easily justify and say, oh, I've never seen her that mad, but she didn't do anything to Brittany. You know what I mean? So that's probably why they didn't run with it. Isn't Portia still married? No, Portia's divorced. She's officially divorced. I saw Simon also dropped his defamation or dismissed his defamation lawsuit against her. Yeah. So maybe Simon's finally moving on. Good, Simon. We need you to. All right. So then they show Bronwyn's package. I have to say, Bronwyn, no matter how you feel about her, and she's not my favorite, but I do think that she's been a good addition to the show. Like, I like how she's able to hold her own. I feel like she fits in. And she has, like, a lot of story, like her own personal story. Where Whitney and Heather lack story, Bronwyn makes up for it this season. So Bronwyn talks about her father's passing. Apparently her father actually had an accident, and that's what caused his early passing. She said he was gone in days. He fell. He tripped and fell, and then he was gone in days. She also says that Muzzy never admitted out loud that the father had dementia. Okay? She also says that Muzzy felt like the whole world was turning on her after appearing on Salt Lake City, and Bronwyn kind of feels like some of the blame, she feels like Muzzy blames her. I could see that. You brought her on the show. I know a lot of people had very strong reactions to her mom on the show. I do now look at Muzzy's change of heart towards the end of the season. I kind of like, oh, so she was paying attention to what you guys were saying, so she wanted to make sure that she showed up on camera looking different. Heather, and this is why I always say that Heather is beneficial to the show, because she always brings in the Mormon-esque parts of the show. And Heather says, do you think the push and pull in your relationship with your mom is because you're not Mormon? And she says, oh, I can definitely see how that could play a part. And I never even think about that stuff, but I'm glad she brought it up. So then the convo turns to Todd and how Todd has supported the family financially. So she talks a little bit about that. But she then reveals, she's like, are we going to talk about Todd? Because then this is where I say Bronwyn is very calculated. Because now she's trying to produce in this moment, oh, so we're about to talk about Todd? So is this where I dropped the bomb that Todd and I are separated? Did you guys see that she's very controlling? But that's very Virgo too. She's very controlling on how she appears to the world. So that's important to note. Okay? Curl says Muzzy is still horrible. Trini says that Heather had a great insight. That's why I always say, like, I'm always on the fence. I'm always twerking on a fence with Heather being on the show. But she could add this perspective being a friend of, too. Because I feel like she does add a lot when it comes to the Mormon culture of the show. Because being Mormon and the Mormon church is like a side character of this show. Sharjay says, I'm glad that Heather brought that up. All right, so Bronwyn, in this particular moment, she reveals that her and Todd are separated. She's living in Utah. He's living in New York. They're filming this in New York, but she will not see him while being in New York. Okay? She said that it was her choice to get separated. And I will say, when she describes why she decided to get separated because she felt like the show, she's not saying that the show is the reason why they got a divorce, but she says it definitely shined a spotlight and on the cracks in the relationship, and it might have sped up them getting a divorce. Because she kind of looked at the situation that she felt isolated. She couldn't talk to the ladies about what she was feeling, but she also couldn't talk to her partner about it. He didn't want to hear about it. So she sort of felt like, then I feel like if I'm going to be on the show, I'm doing PR for you. I'm always defending you on the show and, and painting a different picture of you on the show. And she says that she's been doing that in their marriage for years. But now, and I told you, I feel like she came on this show to get her divorce. I do feel like she came on this show to get her divorce. She knew what she was doing. And and I'm telling you, she probably did all her homework. She got her citizenship. She probably did all her homework. They don't have a prenuptial agreement. She probably already has spoken to lawyers. Bronwyn's no fool. I know she likes to paint herself as sort of like the doting wife, and she talks a certain way. She does that strategically. Bronwyn is a lot more calculated than people give her credit. Very much like what I've said about Erica Jane. Erica Jane was like, how was I supposed to know that he was doing any of these things? She's not your typical housewife. She's not a Teresa. I do believe that Teresa was blindsided by all the things that she found out about her husband, that she signed off on certain things. Okay? So, Wavekey says, who the F wants a U.S. citizenship? She better keep that Brazilian citizenship. I think she probably has dual citizenship, right? No, but doesn't she also have UK citizenship? So I don't know. Exactly. Trinity and Gwen is grown now. I think she decided to come on this show to get her divorce. She felt like it was time. But I also do believe some of the things that she said during this reunion in regards to the marriage was changing. There was a lot of stuff that she had put up with, but the show really highlighted some of the things. And if she's going to remain on this show, he never asked her to quit the show, but if she was going to remain on the show, she felt like she was going to be doing PR for him. Everything that she said made complete sense, and I'm sure she thought about it, and she knew what she was going to say. Because as you saw, she was telling Andy, so are we going to talk more about Todd? I was like, oh, here we go. Miss Melon Magic says, plus Teresa's less than smart. I mean, she really is. I mean, no shade. But I do believe that Teresa Giudice is sort of like, very much like why she's with this man now. Miss Esquire, thank you for being a member. She says, Virgos can be really pragmatic. We can love someone, but also see them for all of their flaws and do the math as to whether they will benefit or hurt us. That's a perfect way of saying it. Because you're a Virgo, you made it nice and sweet. But we're going to say calculated. Calculated. Miss Esquire is celebrating 48 months of being a member here on the channel. I actually met Miss Esquire because she came to my Nashville show, right, Miss Esquire? She was also a part of our meet and greet. So it was nice meeting Miss Esquire. Miss Esquire says, it's been 4 years since I joined this amazing community. Love y'all. I'm so glad I caught this because, this particular platform doesn't save it like StreamYard. So I'm glad I caught this one. Thank you, Miss Esquire, for being a member for so long. Jay Mercedes, thank you so much. Oh, let me shimmy. I can't shimmy too much, though. The neck, y'all. The neck. My neck, my back, my and my... I can't crack. Thank you for the super chat. Hi, Kempire. Bought my tickets for the stream, for the show. Can't wait to see it. I can't fly in, but wanted to support. Thank you. And yes, guys, for those that don't know that I have a live show on March 13th here in New York City, I'm telling everyone to come because I'm not coming to any cities this year. But there is a live stream option, so you can be a part. We had, I forgot how many people we were a part. We had a lot. We set a record for the Green Room 42. So let's break that record. Question, did you remember that Angie was in this reunion? I will say at the end of the reunion, I think Angie saved herself with that statement about the airplane and the air marshal. I was like, okay. But yeah, Angie, to be Center Snowflake was interesting. And I think she got the Center Snowflake because she hosted the Greece trip. And the reunion is based off of Greece and that big pinnacle moment at the end of the season. I think that might be it, but who knows? Maybe there were other things that they were going to show this season, but they decide. Sometimes they make shifts, very much like what we're seeing on Potomac. They made a shift in regards to how they were going to end the season because Karen came out of jail and then Wendy went in. Damn. You know what I mean? So they make shifts. So I don't know if there was a shift in what they were going to focus on with Angie, or because the big trip and how they end the season is in Greece is why they made her Center Snowflake. So, yeah, for the most part, she barely was there, but I'm okay with that. I don't need them to always stand out because I do feel like this cast can be very performative. I'm glad she sort of stayed in her lane. You know what I mean? And for me, one of my favorite moments is the fact that she said, well, Meredith, if you had treated me the way that you treated Brittany on that plane, you would have been met with an air marshal. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. I was here for it. Guys, keep liking the video. Once we get to 450 likes, I'll drop the call link for the general audience. But if you remember the channel, I did drop the call link already on the post tab here on YouTube. If you are a Twitch follower, I'm going to drop it for you guys as well. Hold on, let me do that now. Oh, wait, wow. We got a full stage, backstage. All right, backstage. We'll get to you guys in a second. Shout out to everyone watching on X. I see you guys as well. If you're part of the replay crew, let us know. Let us know how you would rate this week's episode and the final episode of the season of Salt Lake City, and your perspectives on some of the things that we've said and talked about. Okay. All right. We're at 444 likes. Thank you guys. And shout out to the cast members that came in and disliked the video. The 2 cast members. Which one? Remember when we used to guess who we thought disliked the video? 2 cast members from this cast. Who do you think disliked the video? 2. Only 2. What do you think? Okay. Let's move on back to my notes. What else happened here? So Whitney, during this whole conversation, is getting emotional. Bronwyn also revealed that after she asked Todd to get a separation, that Todd watched all the seasons of Salt Lake City, opened social media accounts. He was on the Reddit streets. He was on X. He was seeing everything that people said about him. And she said that he came to her and he was like a shell of himself. I don't recommend that, Todd. I don't know why you would do that. I've said this countless times. So many people ask me how I deal with the comment section. I don't. Like, I'll look here and there to sort of engage with our, logical community and lovely community. But for the most part, I'm not spending, and also I've moved on to the next story. I moved on to the next live. I moved on to the next episode. So I don't spend a lot of time in the comment section. So I can imagine that Todd looked up stuff about him and people were dragging him. Because some of y'all, like, we kiki and we laugh and we shade, but some people on the internet can be brutal. Brutal. You know what I mean? So I can imagine what he discovered. Okay? But he may have come in last week's recap and saw us doing kissing and farting, farting and kissing, kissing and farting, farting and kissing, kissing and farting, farting and kissing, farting and kissing, kissing and farting. Sorry. Sorry, but not sorry. He could have came in. He could have came in and saw that. All right. So, then they talk about the whole cherry situation, and Heather says that, it was a big deal. Mary's like, I didn't see the big deal. I thought it was cute. I didn't think a big deal. I could see how someone could look at that moment and not take it as a big deal, but I also could see why in that moment this was representative of what Bronwyn was complaining about. You know what I mean? In regards to the cherry. Whitney gets emotional, and Andy asked her about, why is she getting so emotional? And she's like, because I can relate to Bronwyn so much, but in the reverse, I'm just always effing up. Can I have a moment? So she goes back, she's like, I just want to be with Justin for a moment. And I'm watching them interact backstage. And then I said, I feel like they're setting us up for what they're going to be talking about next season. And then part of me thought, I say, are they going to admit to that she may have cheated on him or something like that during this time? I don't know why I think that, y'all. I haven't heard that from anyone. That might be my psychic abilities kicking in. But I feel like that's what we're going to talk about next season with Justin and Whitney. And he forgives her. And he forgives her. Well, I don't know why I feel that, but if I get that right, book your readings today. Book your readings today. Book your readings today. We did do for our members. Members, a couple of weeks ago, I did a tarot reading for you guys. Yeah, we did a whole members only live. We're going to do it again. We're going to definitely do it again. It was so much fun. Okay? All right. I see you guys in the chat. Let me say thank you. We had another super chat. Tamika, thank you so much for the super chat. Tamika says, are you looking forward to seeing Below Deck Down Under to see the cruise version of Salt Lake City? I am, but I also love Below Deck in general. I know we haven't talked about Below Deck in a hot second, but I do enjoy watching that show. The early years more so than like the later years, but yeah. Janessa says yes. I felt that too. Kempire way too performative in my opinion. Okay. Way of Keith says you should do a dating live for Valentine's Day. That's what I was thinking. Keith, did you not hear when we mentioned that earlier? Were you not here? We literally said that in this live. I said we should probably do like a Valentine's Day live or something like that. But we'll see. What day of the week does Valentine's Day fall? Can someone tell me that? I can't look it up right now. I don't care. Look, I don't care. You will let me know. Mary says that Whitney is a stunt queen. Eavesdropper says, I can see it. Whitney seems like a snow bunny to me. But remember how they got together, Justin and Whitney. They had affairs. They had an affair with each other, and they ended up getting married. Okay. Van Vasha says, I felt the cheating too. Okay, so I wasn't alone. Call me now. Look, call me now. I am going to drop the call link for the general audience, guys. So let's get to 500 likes. I just dropped the call link for the general audience. DV, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. DV says, I'm booking my reading right now. You're right about Whitney. What picture is this? Is that Storm that I'm looking at in this picture? Or am I not seeing this correctly? I have 20/20 vision, though, according to my doctor. I went there in December. All right. Oh, it's a V-Day's on a Saturday? Maybe we'll do it the Friday before. Okay. Oh, wait a second. We got 2 Friday the 13th back to back? So there's a Friday the 13th in February and a Friday the 13th in March? That's interesting. All right. Now, Mr. Cleo. That's interesting. All right. It's a Sunday. Wait. Hold on. Look. Hold on. Is it? See, I can never trust you guys. Mr. Melon Magic says, Kemp, you don't have a date? Not yet. You never know. Wave Key says, I blame Donald Trump. Yes, Saturday's the 14th, but Friday's the 13th. Friday the 13th. Ariana says, I think my B-Day plans will be on Friday. Okay. All right. Let's move on. Okay, so after the break, Whitney goes backstage to be with Justin, and she gets emotional. She comes back, and she talks about how she can relate so much to Bronwyn. Bronwyn says that she doesn't believe the show broke her and Todd up, but she does feel like it sped it up. Okay? So Meredith apologizes to Heather for calling her a liar. Because you remember during that whole Boston Tea Party event. And they flash back to when she called, like, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. Okay? Meredith did correct the record. She's like, but I think I fixed it. Meredith, I have to say, was vindicated. Because they showed the never before scene where Meredith says, well, maybe not you. You know what I mean? So she was vindicated. But they asked Brittany, why was she so offended that Meredith was talking to her son on Mother's Day? Brittany says that we were all desperate to talk to our children. No, you weren't. I don't know why anyone else didn't roll their eyes at Brittany in regards to that. We were all desperate to talk to our children. Not that desperate that you couldn't just have BravoCon with your daughter. Stop with the theatrics, Brittany. Stop it. Like, I haven't been one of the people to really throw you and your mothering under the bus, but stop with the theatrics. We were all desperate to talk to our children. Girl, shut up. First of all, you were 8 hours ahead. Your kids weren't even up yet. We were all desperate to talk to our children. Okay? Meredith brings up production, and apparently she must have brought up production multiple times because they flash back the times that she blamed production. Because Andy points out, he's like, he's like, what is it this time? Andy was through with Meredith in this reunion. He's like, what is it this time? She's just like, there's nothing that I can say, that's ever going to, be right, whatever. So Whitney decides to chime in. She's like, you know what, Meredith? I'm tired of you blaming production. She's like, there's a whole team behind this show. They're part of the reason why we're so successful, which I would agree, because we always talk about production and the editing of Salt Lake City is what makes it top tier. Hence why this reunion is lackluster. Because in the moment, you guys, when you are in this type of setting, it doesn't land. But production makes you guys a lot more interesting than you actually are. That's why I feel like they always have lackluster reunions. Because production is able to gather and piece this together in a more storybook way than these women would be able to. But I thought it was interesting. She's like, that's why we were recognized by Us Weekly. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, this is why you're loyal. Like the fame and the attention has gone to their heads. That's what we're seeing here. She's like, that they're part of the reason why we were recognized by Us Weekly. And they were. It was nice. Okay? It was a nice little throwback how they were doing sort of like a remake of Desperate Housewives. And I was like, okay, this is nice. But she's like, oh my God, don't blame them. And then Mary starts crying. Why is Mary crying? And Annie's like, why are you crying, Mary? Passing her a tissue. He's like, I just don't like that she's throwing production under the bus. It's not nice. Huh? Okay. All right. That didn't make sense to me either. But Mary does say, she's like, I didn't care that Meredith took a phone call for her son. And everyone else seems really upset about it, that she took the phone call. I'm like, I don't think it was a big deal. Them making it a big deal it's giving Stacey Rush from Potomac. Like everyone just wants to come at Meredith for whatever reason. The style realtor, love it. On Valentine's Day, Saturn goes into Aries, and 3 days later, there's an eclipse. 2026 is going to be a crazy horse year. Whew, I know, I've been seeing all the videos on that. But it's going to be a great year for us fixed signs. It is a good career year. We're going to make a lot of money. But I'm still in my villain era till April, y'all. So don't try me. Some of y'all trying to try me. I'm going to stop reacting. Some of y'all trying to try me, and I'm going to stop reacting. All right. I've been talking for like an hour. And damn, I thought it was a lot longer. I thought I was going to say I've been talking for like 2 hours. Feels like it. All right. Okay, then they talk about the lunch that happened in Greece with Mary, Bronwyn, and Whitney. Whitney apologized to Meredith for accusing her of being on substances, but later doubled down again during this conversation. Meredith said that it felt like they were making accusations. Mary's like, I wasn't making accusations. What do you guys think? Watching that conversation again, didn't we all come up with the, like, they are talking like Meredith has an issue. Mary, you're not innocent here. You were kind of making accusations because you associated it with your son that has addiction. So what are we talking about here? You two were doing, like, that's why I was like, y'all have to kind of look at Mary too with the side. I like, Mary, you two were making accusations because you associated it. Hey, Norma, you associated it with your son's stuff. And I was like, wait a minute. Y'all all were trying to make not me defending Meredith. Norma, thank you for being a member. Norma says Taurus and Leo are in our villain eras and making money. Norma, can you that makes me more villainous then because I have a Leo moon. But that means I'm gonna make a lot of money too. Yes, money. You know we love our money. Shout out to all the Tauruses and Leos, okay? And the Aquariuses. What's going on, Aquarius? You guys are fixed signs too. All right. So I'm just remembering this now. I was like, wait a minute, Mary, you're not innocent. You're not innocent. You were making accusations as well. Foxy says Mary was definitely talking smack about Mare. And she's like, I wouldn't do that. And I'm thinking to myself, but you did. Okay. I know y'all seen it says Meredith is off. I agree. I'm not trying to defend Meredith. Something is off. Her and Seth are odd. They are. All of what you just said. Miss B. Woods says, nice teeth, Miss B. Woods. She says they made a lot of things a big deal. They didn't need it. I still don't see why Brittany and Whitney walked off. Or why Andy walked off. It was all performative. I literally tweeted that this morning. I was like, all of these walk-offs feel performative. All of them. Okay? Way of Key says Mary talks out both sides of her face. So then should we believe Mary when it comes to what happened on the plane? Hey, Dainty Jessie says, I'm ready. Leo here. Shout out to the Leos. Mrs. Mickendun says, oh, wow, I'm a Taurus. I receive it. Yes, come on, Tauruses. Okay. All right. Let me take a sip. Y'all can hear me? Y'all might want to reshare because I have everything here. Testing. I see my volume here. Come out, y'all. Come out of the live, then come back. Come out of the live and then come back because I don't see any issue here. Yes. Let me post this up because Twitch is all good. It's not my sound. It's probably YouTube. It's probably YouTube, y'all. Swipe out of the app and then come back in. Let me just tell people, yeah, Jen Falala, jump out of the live and rejoin y'all. Jump out of the live and come back. Look, Corinne says I had to refresh. It's not me because I looked. Look, Miss Carpe Diem said, oh, beautiful picture, Miss Carpe Diem. Sorry, I get so distracted by beautiful things. I can hear you. I think that's what it is, y'all. I think it's the app. It's probably your YouTube. K-Baby says it was going in and out for her. Yeah. Refresh. Mr. Melba says, jump out of the closet. It's the app, y'all. Cinnamon says, I had a beautiful photo. Okay, is everyone just beautiful today? All right. Jump out of the app, y'all. Jump out of the app and come back. Mods, if we could do that. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, Foxy. Refresh your YouTube page, y'all. Refresh your YouTube page. It happens every once in a blue. It's been happening a lot more in the last year, but here we go. That has nothing to do with me, y'all. Thankfully, I looked down. I was like, wait, did I hit a button or something like that? No, I still have all my levels. I can see all my levels, and people can hear me. Luckily, we're streaming in other places, too. So people can hear me in other places. Judy says, or come to Twitch. I know that's right. Or go to Twitch, y'all. Go to Twitch. Okay. Priz says, yes, the audio wasn't matching the video, but I refreshed and it's fine now. Thank you. Yeah, it's the app, y'all. It is what it is. All right. Carl says, I'm on YouTube. I think it affects certain YouTube users. Who knows what's going on? Who knows? All right, back to this. Let me just end this, y'all. Not end the live, but just end this conversation about the reunion. The reunion wasn't great. What else do they talk about at the end? Oh, they go back and forth about Meredith, and then Bronwyn and Meredith getting into it because Bronwyn believes that Meredith was using her this season. And at first, I thought Bronwyn was reaching because I do think that Bronwyn plays semantics, especially when they talk about Meredith's marriage. We know what you were doing, Bronwyn. Now Bronwyn at the reunion is trying to act like she wasn't insinuating that Seth might be cheating because she had saw him with a woman. And I'm like, are you trying to change? Are you trying to play semantics? And look, I know Meredith loves to play a good semantic. But I was like, this is why. And mind you, at this reunion, you see Bronwyn say, I feel like you and I have a lot in common. Yeah, y'all play the same games. And I do believe that Meredith was probably using Bronwyn because remember what Monica Garcia said. Remember that? She said something very similar about Meredith. So I do believe Meredith is manipulative. But I also think that Bronwyn is as well. So Bronwyn gets real crunk with Meredith, and she's like, why are you above having hard conversations? She's like, sit the F down and have the conversation. And she's like, you cannot talk to me like that. Bronwyn says that she feels used by Meredith. And that's when I had the aha this morning. That's why sometimes I'm glad I get a chance to rewatch, because then I think to myself, like, oh, wait a minute. I was like, this is exactly what Monica accused Meredith of before, too. But I also think that Bronwyn plays semantics as well, because now she's trying to backpedal like she wasn't insinuating something was going on in Meredith's marriage. And Meredith was like, I never contributed to the conversations about your marriage. But she's like, you didn't deter them. Okay, Bronwyn, what? Your best friend is talking about you. You didn't deter them. Okay. But now here you are at the reunion talking about being separated. So were they wrong for talking about your marriage? This is where Bronwyn annoyed the hell out of me. I was just like, oh my God. But I do think that her and Meredith have a lot in common. So at the end of this reunion, Lisa and Angie talk about their friendship and how they're in a better place and they're warm towards each other and, you know, they are able to love on each other, blah, blah, or whatever. Who cares? Andy asked me one thing you learned this season. So they go around the table and they talk about the things that they learned. I don't care about any of the things that they learned. What stood out to me was Heather. So she's like, you know what, guys? Some of the best moments of my life have been with this group. I was like, some of the best moments of your life, you got 3 daughters. Some of the best moments of your life have been with this group. But I've said this before. She was not the cool kid in school. She probably was never the cool kid. Now, going to BravoCon would make you feel like you are a superstar. She probably now thinks because of this, she is a superstar. Now, it's inflated her head. I always say this. Money, fame doesn't change a person. It shows you who they really are. It shows you who they really are. She's like, well, some of my best moments has been with this group. I was like, and look, yes, I'm sure the birth of her children and things like that, but it stood out to me. It's just piling on the things that I have about Heather that I'm like, Riz says Heather resents being a mother. It's weird. It could also be the Mormon of it all. That might be the root of it. I think she loves her children, but the resentment could be because of the culture around having a family and children and what she was taught and things like that. So a lot of that. Toya says, Heather said, F them kids.
Lies! The lies!
Wait. She did say F them kids. Okay. All right. I'm done talking about this, but we do have people that want to share their thoughts, and I want to get into the callers in just a second. As I do that, guys, keep liking the video. We already over 500 likes, so thank you to everyone that's liked the video. I do not take that lightly, but we have still 500 of you that are watching that haven't. I don't know why, but thank you for being here. We appreciate the ad revenue. But subscribe if you're not a subscriber. It is subscribers only, a live chat. Shout out to our King's Guards. Be sure to thank them. It's a thankless job, but I always thank them. But can you thank them? Say thank you for holding us down in the live chats. We appreciate them. DV, thank you so much for being a member for the Super Chat. DV says, oh, that is Nubia, DC Comics. Oh, okay. Thank you for telling me that. Are you telling me we need a whole movie about Nubia? Because I'd be here for it. Is there any correlation? Is there any wait, no, DC. Storm is Marvel. Damn, I was about to say, is there any crossover? Okay, we need a Nubia movie. Tish, thank you so much for another super chat. Tish says, Meredith used to slur her words to the point where I barely understood her. Do we really believe that Meredith wasn't on something? Maybe not now, but before. Well, we've talked about it before, Tish. You know that. We've talked about it here during our recaps. Please understand, I'm not saying that Meredith is innocent. I'm not saying that Meredith might not have a problem. But I think a bunch of them might, though. They were better at hiding it. And now she's at the club doing a DJ stuff. Lord. Danny, the Dan Talk, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Dan says, someone said that Lisa and Mare talks like Trump, and I can't unhear it. Next season, let's keep Bronwyn, Lisa, Mary, Angie, Whitney, demote Heather, and Mare. You don't want to demote Whitney? I'm here for Whitney being demoted, please. Please. But you guys let me know. Who do you think? Especially now that we're at the end of the season. Who do you think should come back next season? All right. The opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, TheKempire LLC, or our sponsors. And be sure to check out the description in regards to today's Real Housewives of Salt Lake City sponsors. And if you love my sweatshirt, twerking on a fence, you can find that at the House of Kempire. You can also find our coffee mugs for the Are You Okay coffee mugs and travel mugs that you guys asked for. They're now available at thehouseofkempire.com, or you can go to thekempire.com and click the shop button. You guys have been buying this merch like crazy. There's t-shirts and sweatshirts and hats as well for that. All right, let's get to a call. Callers, please respect the timer so that we're able to get to everyone. Let's bring up Toya first. Toya, what did you want to share about Salt Lake City?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to say that I feel like Meredith is the problem. And then we also learned this episode that she has been going off on production. Like, I think she's the problem. The most interesting thing about her happened off camera and she refused to admit it. And that was the whole plane situation. I think what she did to Brittany the last episode was disgusting. I think she tried to tried to pretty much get her canceled, in my opinion. I'm glad that she was able to come out. Like, I'm sorry, but I get asked to do reviews and I don't know every single detail about what happened with a business. Like, with a person from a business, you know?
Yeah.
And once you do find out, you can always remove your review. I thought what she did was just really nasty work, and everyone seemed to have seen right through her. And it seems like Andy did as well. It was very damaging. Bronwyn's still my girl. Still my girl, y'all. Angie's still my girl. I like Salt Lake City, but they probably need to make a little bit of changes. I don't know where, but something got to change a little bit. Thanks, Kempire.
Okay. Thanks, Toya. All right. All right. We're going to bring up Cynthia next. Cynthia, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing? Hi, everyone.
How are you?
I think this season, I will rate it a 5. I don't think they needed a 3-part reunion, in my opinion. They could have stayed at part 1. I really want Monica to come back to deal with Heather. Heather, honestly, I think she just really wants to have an issue with Meredith, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Whitney can go. That's it, Kempire.
I don't think Monica can come back. She owes money to Heather, like legally. You know what I mean?
Man.
So I don't know the possibility of that, and I feel like they're going to make it an issue. Like they're going to be like Karen's, like HR. They're going to make it an HR issue.
Okay, I get it. All right. Well, thank you so much, Kempire.
Thanks, Cynthia. All right, let me hold on. Hey, Kenya cares. Kenya says, "Hey, Kempire, love you so much. Wait, love you much. I was wondering on RHP why was Angel driving? I think that was the issue. It made it hard to concentrate, focus on everything else. We met in Atlanta getting my tickets. I remember you. Someone else brought that up during our Potomac recap. Why was Angel driving? I think she's just used to driving, and you know, this is her safe place, and this is her business. So I think she was used to it, but I'm sure it didn't help. You know, I feel like I need to go live again and talk about Potomac. I feel like people still have more to say, but we still have the reunion, y'all. We still have the reunion coming up, and we have the season finale next week. Let me bring up Nia next. Nia, what did you want to share about Salt Lake City?
Hey, Kempire. I'm honestly surprised yet grateful that you had a live today because, to be honest, I was going to fall asleep just like Mary during the reunion. But anywho, I'm just calling in because I have a question for you, and please feel free to take up the rest of my time.
Oh.
Was Whitney's storyline this season dyeing her hair orange and then dyeing it black blonde, thankfully and respectfully? Because otherwise, I don't understand, and please do tell.
Well, that was a part of her storyline. And then, well, honestly, no, it really wasn't. Because she never really talked about it during the season, why she changed the color of her hair. We know why, because she talked about it on social media, but not on the show. Maybe she didn't, they didn't keep it in.
No, I was totally being sarcastic, my bad.
Oh.
Because she's like an Ashley of Potomac. I'm sorry, like, what are you bringing to the table? Your orange hair? Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think her other storyline was this whole situation with her husband.
Okay, we'll see, I guess. Thank you, though. Have a good day.
You too, Nia.
Bye.
Nia was like, I was being sarcastic, Empire, and I answered all serious like. All right, let's bring up Miss Bernice. Hey, Miss Bernice.
Hey.
What's going on?
Hey, Kempire. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm fine. I don't understand, but I don't care. The season is over. They didn't need three days of your life. You can't get back. But Lisa, she's a selfish person, not a selfless person.
Ooh.
So she can't understand any empathy or sympathy given to someone else, let alone shown to her. She had to humanize her husband and didn't expect him to have her back all the time. It don't work like that, boo. And Heather, I'm sorry. When I see Heather, I see some diminished form of Miss Havisham from Great Expectations. That's all I see. And with Whitney and her husband, all I hear is wham, everything she wants. Because financially, she's not satisfied with what he gives her. So he's just there for the money, to make the money. I don't care about the show no more. I'm here to support you because I love you.
Thank you, Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice, did you guys get a lot of snow over there in Detroit?
Yeah. And I watched the recaps.
Thank you. Well,
love you.
Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Stay warm. Our Detroit I would like to go to Detroit, but I'm not going to Detroit now. I'll wait till the summer comes. They're in Chicago. We do a little Midwest tour. Anthony's backstage. We're going to bring Anthony up next. Anthony, what did you want to share?
Hey everyone, Anthony calling from San Diego, California.
Oh, wait a minute, you moved?
Yeah, we're settling in. My partner got a new job here in the San Diego International Airport, so settling in, trying to figure things out. I've never been here before, but it's literally down the street from Los Angeles. So
is it?
It's 2 or 3 hour drive, but
I ain't down the street.
It's just down the street,
but it's not far. It's not far.
Yeah, it's not bad. But anyways, for Salt Lake City, I'm gonna give this episode and as well this season a 6 out of 10. 2 notes: Bronwyn and for Whitney. Bronwyn, for 6 seasons of Salt Lake, the 7th season is gonna be the first divorce story. So I'll give them that for Salt Lake City because this whole 6 seasons, nobody has talked about it in terms of a divorce. So props to them. And then lastly, Whitney, yes, her storyline this season was her downfall of her business. And I do feel like another downfall would be happening if she were to return, which is her cheating. Because I do feel like that might have happened.
Right?
Because this was part... Yes, I agree with you 100%. Something must have happened that she has done herself, which I feel like is she stepped out of her marriage, which we don't see again another housewife do in this type of like storyline. We never saw a housewife talk about their failed business, and now she's going to probably, hypothetically, talk about her stepping out of a marriage, which is usually the husband. But in this case, it'll be Whitney. So that's a change of scenery, a change of thing. But I don't know if she'll come back. Should she? No, but that's just my opinion.
But it's not surprising if she did, because that's how she got her husband.
Yeah. So, what are we going to do? But hopefully, let's just see what happens next season. And thank you so much, Kempire.
Thanks, Anthony. Congrats on the move. I've never been to San Diego. Y'all want me to come to San Diego, too. All right. Tutu's backstage. Tutu, what's going on?
Bonsoir, Kempire. How are you?
Is it oh, yeah, it is. It's 2 o'clock here, so it has to be the evening there. What's going on?
Yes, it's... how do you say it? 8 o'clock here.
Okay, what's going on?
I'm fine, thank you. I just wanted to say I have a little conspiracy theory.
Okay.
I believe that Heather and Whitney are working with the current production crew, and that's why they get by with not having a storyline while targeting Lisa and Meredith. Mm-hmm. Because they admit to popping pills and drinking, but because it's prescribed, it's okay. We've seen them drunk AF, but it's okay because they're friends with the production crew, but they can target Lisa and Meredith. Otherwise, where is Mary's grandfatherly husband?
Vegas?
We have not heard of him. Angie is just Greek, and Bronwyn has some nerves. Like, I love her gossiping. I think it's entertaining. However, she can own up to it afterwards. It's annoying. There it is for me. Thank you very much.
Thanks, you too. Take care.
Au revoir.
Bye. Au revoir. I need to work on my French. All right, let me just say, Norma said, Kempire, it's 69 degrees here in LA today. Oh, wow. That's cool. AKA 3 to 4 hour drive to San Diego. And with that LA traffic, Norma, it's probably longer, right? RC says, I go to San Diego if you went there, Kempire. I would like to go to San Diego. I'd like to see it. You know what I mean? There's so much of California I still would like to see. San Francisco. All right. Let's bring up April Aries next. April Aries, what did you want to share?
Good afternoon, Kempire. So I agree, like with the callers, that this did not need to be 3 parts. Like this is like 3 parts of all of our lives that we could not get back. They could have chopped it down to 2 parts, and we would have been okay. And I feel like with the whole Whitney, whatever her name is, and her husband, I feel like are y'all soft launching your divorce? Because that's what it's giving me. I was like, what do you mean you're strong? We're going to get through this. And I feel like something did happen on that plane with Meredith, but productions covered your back and they didn't show it for whatever reason. Nothing happened. So it's just like they need to stop beating that dead horse. And I noticed Mary was giving the ladies like different side eyes like throughout the thing, especially when Lisa and Meredith were talking. And even though I don't like Brittany because she is a bad mother, I did chuckle when she came back and told Meredith about herself, because what Meredith said was very nasty, and to deflect from being held accountable. It's like, girl, just own it and then we'll be okay. But yeah, I'm going to go back to work now. Enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, and Valentine's Day is Friday. And then you have Valentine's Day that Saturday.
Okay, so it's Friday the 13th.
Have a good day, guys.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. And look, the Kempire After Dark live show is Friday the 13th. I chose it specifically for that. I was like, we're going to own that day. Come on now. Don't forget to get your tickets, guys. Ticket information for the Kempire After Dark live show will be available in the description. It's in New York City, March 13th at the Green Room 42, but there's a live stream option. So go get your tickets today if you can't come to New York. But if you're in Philly, D.C., Atlanta, Canada, come on. Come to the show. Book your tickets today. The venue is in a hotel. You can book a hotel right there, too, and go right from the show to your room. Come on. It's like the best venue ever. I should get a hotel there. All right. Excommunicado's backstage. Excommunicado, what did you want to share about Salt Lake City?
Yeah. Hi, Kempire.
Hey.
I feel like Meredith, of course, did what they said on the plane, and probably more, because I remember Heather saying that she's not admitting to the other libelous things that she said, which they are all not talking about. And I'm surprised they left that in. But besides that, Brittany, that interesting dance that you say you are doing between your daughter and Jared, please turn off the music. Lisa, don't interrupt the conversation to bring the attention back to yourself, and then you get mad when they give you the attention. Then Bronwyn, you're a tattletale, but I love how you are able to get some of the most unhinged of the lizards and gather them and send them back into a cage. She's able to do that severally. And her story has been the most compelling of all the newbies that Bravo has actually brought on in the past probably 2 years. Her alone, if you take her storyline alone from these past 2 seasons, it will be quite difficult to get some real reality out of it. That's what I think. And I also agree with Mary. This might be a very different opinion from everybody else. I agree with Mary that whole cherry thing was kind of endearing, because that is something that I would do myself, but I would never do that with somebody that I do not love, or I'm not interested in, or I don't respect, because that is just a little way to take a jab at you, and you're going to probably hit me in the head and play and fight over that. But it's just something cute. So I kind of saw that, and I've always held that opinion. But I hope Bronwyn, when she comes back, whatever the story is going to be good.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Excommunicado, for calling in. I could see how people could view that situation differently, but also the way that it was edited made it seem shady, as she tells you, she likes her cherry and you decide to eat it anyway. Like two seconds later. Dina says, where are you staying, Kempire? The Four Seasons? I'm a Four Seasons girly. I'm a Four Seasons girly. I'll be at the Four Seasons. I do want to go to the Four Seasons for their spa. I haven't done it, but who says I have done it? What are you talking about? I'm a Four Seasons girly. Cynthia says, sidebar, did y'all hear that Gretchen and Katie will not be coming back to RHOSC? I did see that, and no one cares. I don't even know if I'm going to be recapping. If you're a Club Kempire bet, I talked about this yesterday as well. I don't know if I'll be recapping Orange County next season. Not really interested. Okay, and it's not because Gretchen and Katie are coming back. That's not the reason. Arjun's backstage. Arjun, what did you want to share about Salt Lake City's final reunion?
Well, I didn't watch the season. I only watched the first 2 episodes and the first 2 episodes of the trip. That's it.
Oh.
But I saw the clip where Heather said, "Buckle up, Meredith." I want to know what Mary said. Like, did she say something like, "Oh, let me call Jen Shaw because she's out now"? Did she say that?
No.
In response, or
I
no?
did say that.
Oh, what did she say? Because I didn't hear anyone mention.
I don't remember what she said, sir.
Oh, is it not? Okay, never mind then. But they need to do some. They need to have storylines for in order to have people, because I left because of that. Like, the first 2 episodes was just arguing, and it's not like any other housewives where they argue, but then there's like funny shade in between.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, it's really bad. And also, when Angie mentioned about Lisa's kid, I don't think people really spoke about that, because if, for example, Marlo said anything about Kenya's kid, Brooklyn, you all would have dragged Marlo. But then when it came to Angie, everyone hates Lisa. So this is, oh yes, Angie, go her. But like, that's my opinion though.
Okay.
Yeah, people don't go on Angie because people hate Lisa, so Angie gets away with everything. And I don't think you mentioned that. They didn't mention that in the reunion as well. I didn't see anyone speaking about that.
No,
from like,
I don't recall.
Yeah,
it was probably a blip into part 1.
Okay, bye, Kempire.
Bye, Arjun. All right. Hold on. Thank you guys so much. We hit 600 likes. Keep liking the video if you haven't already. We're taking callers talking about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. Keith is backstage. Keith, what did you want to share about Salt Lake City's reunion?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So first things first, just to reiterate my comment before, there is something about Heather that just gives me cat lover. And no, I'm not talking about the kittens. But they're just, I don't know. I just get very, she down with the community vibes. How you doing? But also with Bronwyn, I understand her being a people pleaser a little bit as a Virgo. And I actually had to stop that a little bit early on when I was in college. However, fortunately, I did go to therapy and been able to be more pronounced and being able to say no and being able to stand in my own. And I think Bronwyn really needs to do that as well. But also, I want to say Mary talks out both sides of her mouth for sure. I feel like every time the ladies are around her, they have to walk on eggshells because you never know how she's going to respond. She may cuss you out. She may be real nice to you. You never really know with Mary, and it's kind of a uncomfortable situation to be in with a friend. But also, one last thing, Whitney, Ashley, Darby, and Gina from OC, they all give the same energy, just desperate and willing to do anything to keep a job. Angie also gives desperate, but she gives desperate, but in her own lane. But that's about it.
Okay. Thanks, Keith. All right, we're going to bring up Angel next. Angel W., what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire. So I give part 3 a 0. It was neither here nor there. We didn't need it. But overall, I'll give this season a 5.5. I agree with you. Whitney's trying to set us up to tell us about her marriage, but we don't care. She needs to exit and deal with that off screen. Heather has put herself in a weird position where I think she's isolating herself because she is so dehydrated to create another moment that she's put herself alone on an island. So let's give her another season without Whitney. Let's give her a chance to make another moment with the receipts proof timeline, but it'll be something probably really cringy because she's in her single ready to mingle moment and it'll make us all disgusted, but she'll get it. And I think Brittany needs to never be full-time. She does not deserve it. She is over dramatic. And then Mary was kind of irritating me with her passive aggression and her aggression towards Lisa. I think Lisa took notes and listened on purpose so they couldn't set her up. And it kind of shows that Lisa may be in therapy and she's using the tools and it's working in her favor. So that's it.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Angel. Wow. Who thinks Lisa's in therapy? Oh. All right. Lucky Star's backstage. Lucky Star, what did you want to share?
Hello. Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes. What was that?
Oh, that's my kid in the background.
Oh, I was like, wait a minute.
I just want to say it's my first time calling. I love your show.
Thank you.
As for the final episode of Salt Lake, for me, it was lackluster. I feel like I don't know what they're going to do next season, but they have to do some kind of shakeup. Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you for calling. Lucky Star, where are you calling from?
From Brooklyn, New York.
All right. So you come to the New York City show?
Yes, yes.
All right.
I'll be there.
I'll see you on March 13th.
All right. Bye, Kempire.
Take care. Bye. Don't bring the baby, though. Joke. Well, no, really, don't bring the baby. It's not that type of environment. All right. Let's bring up Jared next. Jared, what's going on? Is your last name really Timberlake?
It is. I take it from my husband.
Oh, wait.
It is. So now I tell everybody I'm JT.
Okay.
Also, I'm obsessed with you, by the way. I have to say that. I couldn't. So I forgot about the part 3 until you were live. So I didn't even watch it. I actually want to touch on RHOP if I can real fast.
Sure.
So Jazzy, remember she said to Stacy that she recorded the call or something like that. My dad has been having this issue where he's been recording the call. iPhones automatically will say, the phone is now being recorded. Well, I saw his phone the other day on iPhones when you're in the middle of a call. If you, at the left-hand corner, there's like a circle button. If you click it, you can record the call. Yep. It is going to tell you you're recording. Maybe Jazzy did it on accident. My dad does it multiple times.
We talked about that during the live, or one of the lives. Maybe it was on TikTok. And I tested it out because, and a lot of people told me that it was a new update, that the new update tells you that your call is being recorded. But before you could record calls then too, but it didn't tell you. Oh. And I think Jazzy didn't know that.
Oh.
I still think Jazzy was being grimy.
She might have been. I thought about it because my dad had that same issue. I was telling him about my credit cards, and then I heard the calls being recorded. I said, wait a minute. Wait a minute. All righty, Kempire. Thank you so much.
Set you up. Bye, Jared. I mean, I honestly, look, I didn't even realize you could record the phone calls till this past week. I was like, you can record phone calls? Well, why would we record? Honestly, though, when you call, are you speaking to, when they tell you that they're recording you, this call is going to be recorded in regards to like when you call like a business or you're calling a credit card company or something. I was like, well, you know what? Guess what? I'm recording a copy too. Brenda. Look, Brenda, I'm recording a copy too. Okay. All right. Let's bring up a Taurus with the T as our final caller for this Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion recap. Taurus, what's going on?
Hey, Kim, can you hear me?
Yes.
So I woke up and I immediately started to watch the last part of the reunion around 7:00 in the morning, just to get the disappointment out of the way. I would say the only thing that this reunion was actually worth discussing was Bronwyn. Bronwyn was really the highlight for me in this last part of the reunion. I was one of the people who said that Lisa was, the MVP of the first, and then Meredith for the second. But I just got really tired of Meredith and Heather for this last part. So really, Bronwyn was the only person that had a story worth sharing. I want her to not return with Todd and for her to go ahead and find someone younger so she can live her life. And I think this is, again, a testament of not because you are with someone who is very affluent means that they are able to fulfill you in different areas. And I think it's very admirable that he was, very reliable as a husband, but he wasn't faithful. And obviously that's super important for her. Even to the point where she was saying that she found herself saying things that she actually didn't believe to keep him. Girl, that is a sign to leave.
Yeah.
And she is. It. I'm a therapist, by the way, and I can tell you that Lisa is not in therapy.
I'm about to say, I was like, therapy.
She probably did take one of Meredith's Xanax, though, or she probably lent one from Heather or Whitney, but that's it.
Thank you, Taurus, for the tea for calling in. Bye. That was one of the things that Bronwyn did say in regards to why she decided to leave Todd was the fact that she was seeing that she was saying things that she would probably never say, including the whole open marriage conversation, because we were all like, really? But it makes me wonder, did she really have that perspective, or did she see the backlash that she received for sharing that on the show? And that's what changed her perspective. I don't know. I do think that Bronwyn is very calculated, though. Alessia is backstage. We're going to bring Alessia up next. Alessia, what did you want to share about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. Look, this reunion, oh my God. I mean, first of all, I was thinking I need a violin. Like, the small violin for Whitney when she was
Yes.
trying to defend production. Yeah, clearly, because clearly she knows that she doesn't bring anything, and probably she's afraid that she will be gone by next season. So yeah, and Meredith, I am saying this since quite a few episodes. The thing is, I know the Meredith, she has said her good sides and bad sides as well, but all this tagging in against Meredith and Lisa couldn't speak. Lisa couldn't say anything. They were talking about tagging on, and they were doing the same. They're calling Lisa mean girl, but they were the mean girl. And Heather, she's been unlikable episode by episode,
right?
And I can't wait when everyone, even Andy will be done with her, and sooner or later she'll be gone because she's unlikable. She doesn't bring anything. I understand that she can bring this sort of Mormonism point of view, but it's not that relevant anymore when it was in the previous seasons. You know what I mean? She doesn't bring anything, so she needs to go. All right, bye, Kempire.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you, Alessia. Take care. All right. Thank you to everyone that called in and was a part of our Housewives of Salt Lake City recap, our final recap of season 6. If you are new to the channel and you've missed our recaps for the season, or maybe you're just getting into season 6, maybe you started Salt Lake City and you've been watching since season 1, and now you're on season 6 and you were like, oh, I'm going to see some of these recaps. We do have a playlist. Be sure to check that out, and you can hear all the things that we've said over the years, including this.
Yeah. Meredith can go herself. I'm done with her because I'm not a whore and I don't cheat on my husband. Her and a dumb family that poses. Why don't you own a house? Wait, you can't because your husband changes jobs every 5 minutes? Fake Meredith is a piece of I have your back and I'm offended by that. You that piece of garbage whore. I hate her. She's a whore. She's half of New York. She can go herself.
I will miss that. I will miss that until the new season. It will be interesting to see what the focus will be for season 7. If you are a Club Kempire member, I did talk about some of the antics I heard the Salt Lake City ladies were doing during Ultimate Girls Trip filming, so be sure to check that out. There is no free 3-day trial anymore, so I hope you guys that took advantage of it. That's where I'm spilling some tea and talking about things that I don't talk about anywhere else. It's available on Apple Podcasts, but you can also get it via their website if you don't have an Apple device. Thank you to everyone that sent in a super chat. Thank you so much, A.O. Kennedy. Thank you so much. Beautiful picture, A.O. Kennedy. A.O. Kennedy says, sad to see my girlies go, but I was honestly a little underwhelmed by the reunion. It felt disjointed and contrived. The stories were wrapped up, but still felt unfinished. Shake it up. Yeah. And if you guys had to rate the season overall, how would you rate the season? TV says, not your eyes closed. I'm taking it in. I love that rant. If you guys had to rate the season, though, from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? As I said before, I still probably would rate the season probably where a 6.5, maybe a 7 if I want to be generous. I do, so many people have said this too, that they feel like Salt Lake City will have a really great season, but a terrible reunion. I have to agree with that. I definitely have to agree. I don't think you're going to see a major shakeup. I definitely think you're going to see some changes. I definitely think maybe an OG will not be returning next season. And that's not me saying anything. I haven't heard anything officially. When I do, I will tell you. But I definitely can see an OG being demoted or leaving. And do you think that OG might be Meredith? We'll have to see. We will have to wait and see. Okay, I'm seeing 6, 7. His bookie gave it an 8.5, 7.5. Foxy gave it an 8. Wave Keith said, since I ate lunch, a 6.5. Nav gave it a 7, 6.5, 6, 5, 7, only because of the grease scenes. 5. Bergie gave it a 7. Okay, Replay Crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City's season, but also their 3-part reunion. And don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share this video. And thank you to those of you that send in Super Chats, Venmos, Cash Apps. Those of you that send in Super Chats after the live and the replay. We appreciate you guys. Sometimes I get to see them. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes the YouTube app will notify me, and I try to respond to those. But if I do miss it, please understand it's not intentional. So be sure to check out everything that you missed, guys, including Charisse. Charisse was at the Sherry Shepherd show, y'all, yesterday. For what? Promoting what? Not, I guess, promoting the kiss, the hookup between her son and Ashley Darby. So be sure to check out that video if you haven't already. I appreciate you being here. And in regards to our sponsors, be sure to check out the description in regards to our sponsors from Ro and Rose Forever. Go check them out. And of course, if you want your merch, Twerking on a Fence, available at thehouseofkempire.com. All that information will be available in the description. And don't forget, the Kempire After Dark live show is coming back to New York City Friday, March 13th at the Groom 42. If you can't come to New York, there is a live stream available. So go get your tickets. You're able to keep that live stream for 1 week after the show, but you have to buy your ticket before the show. Okay? All right. And I promised before March 13th, I will show you the last New York City show. If you're a member, you'll have access first before anyone else. All right? All right, y'all. Oh my God. Vonti says, wait, I'm late. Mary and Robert Sr. are cousins? I know I said cousins. I was being facetious. No, they're not cousins. I'm glad I saw that comment. No, they're not cousins. I just added that. Just to add it. I'm a mess, okay? Whatever. All right, y'all. Everyone have a great rest of your Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. I will see you all in the podcast version of our live recap. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast, all right? All right. I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Don't forget to give us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for more information on the podcast, head on over to KempireRadio.com.